Hello and welcome to the MTPT Project's information event about our Cradle to Classroom programmes of parental transition support for the academic year 2026 to 2027. My name is Emma Shepherd and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the MTPT project and the specifics of the Cradle to Classroom programmes and how you can share them with your staff next academic year. So the MTPT Project are the UK's only charity for parent educators. We were founded in 2016 when I went on parental leave with my son, Hugo. And initially we were founded with the intention of inspiring, empowering and connecting teachers choosing to complete professional and personal development. But we've since expanded to be a charity for all parent educators, so teachers, leaders and support staff and colleagues working at central trust level and those returning to the profession after a caring related career break. And we support them through coaching and return to work workshops and networking opportunities. And we also do a lot of work on the systems side of things, researching the motherhood penalty in education, how that impacts our workforce, and delivering leadership training programs for colleagues who want to make teaching a more family-friendly career option. Now, part of the reason that we do this work is because the attrition of mother educators in particular has a significantly damaging impact on our workforce and the quality of provision that we're able to provide for our students. So this infographic shares what we know about the female-dominated nature of the teaching profession and what we know about attrition related to women aged 30 to 39 and maternity and paternity returners. So each academic year, around 2.3% of the teacher workforce take an extended period of parental leave each year, and that might mean adoption leave, shared parental leave, or the majority of which is maternity leave. That means that around 15,000 staff are taking or beginning a period of leave every single year, and that includes 9,900 teachers taking a period of maternity leave. Now, unfortunately, retention rates are very high, particularly within the first 12 months of the return, where we lose almost 20% of that extended parental leave workforce, which is intensified amongst teachers taking a period of maternity leave. So we lose about 20% of those teachers within the first 12 months back to work. And over a 4-year period, we lose almost 40% of all of our staff members who have taken a period of extended leave. Women aged 30 to 39 remain the largest demographic to leave the profession every single year. We know that motherhood has a lot to do with that. And within that demographic, we're therefore losing our experienced teachers and really the bedrock of our teaching profession and the ones that make sure that we can provide the capacity and the expertise that we need to make sure that children have the best chances in life. Now, the DFE are recognising how important this parent-educator demographic is, and that's a result of our Missing Mothers report and some of the precursor research that came before that we published in 2024 with the New Britain Project, really spotlighting the motherhood penalty and how it is forcing teachers out of the profession when they become parents. The key group added to that research landscape with a report called What Happens to Teachers After Maternity Leave, demonstrating the high rates of contract resignations following maternity leave, and emphasising the importance of flexible working to support colleagues as they come back and as they balance caring responsibilities. The Teaching Commission used both of those reports to make recommendations to the DFE that we then saw in the 2026 white paper, where women aged 30 to 39 and maternity returners were put front and centre of the narrative around workforce and retention, which is really, really encouraging to see. And the DFE are right to put that emphasis on this parental returner demographic, because across the 4 demographics, the groups that you can see on the screen there, teachers returning from maternity leave, teaching assistants returning from maternity leave, teachers taking a period of standard paternity leave, so 2 weeks, and teachers taking a period of extended paternity leave, so 3 weeks or more, we can see that there are thousands of teachers taking that type of leave every year, and yet we're losing 5,546 of them on average within the first 4 years of their return. And this is these rates are particularly high within the first year, where we're seeing 18% of our maternity returners leaving, and that rises to 39% 4 years following the return. Now, what's interesting is looking at these rates is that although we know that teachers taking an extended period of paternity leave, so 3 weeks or more of paternity leave, are very small in numbers, actually they're leaving at the second highest rate across the first 3 years of their return to work. They're then outdone, as it were, by teaching assistants by 4 years following the return to work. But actually what that suggests is that the penalties and the barriers and the challenges that colleagues are facing when they return to work aren't necessarily gendered. They're based on who has taken the extended period of childcare leave and who has probably therefore got equal or the primary childcare role at home. So that's interesting that we're looking here at more caring penalties rather than the motherhood penalty. But obviously, because mothers, women are so much more likely to take that extended period of leave, they are the ones who are facing those challenges more acutely. Now, what we do with our Cradle to Classroom programs is we offer a support system to make that transition back into work a little bit easier, to help to retain some of these colleagues who feel forced to leave rather than those who really genuinely do want to leave the profession. So what we offer is 2 group coaching programs. So when colleagues begin a period of parental leave, they can benefit from 3 sessions of parental leave group coaching. Just ahead of their return, they can join us for a return to work workshop. And when they're back at work, as long as their youngest child is aged 5 or younger, then they can have 6 sessions of group coaching with us called Sustain and Grow. And those cohorts run throughout the year on multiple dates, and we have recorded and hybrid access to all of the programs, as well as live cohort and workshop dates. Now, currently, the first 2 blocks of the Cradle to Classroom programme are fully funded for state school colleagues in England, and we're really committed to making sure that all state school colleagues have access to those programmes, so teachers, leaders and support staff and central trust team members and those returning to teaching after a caring related career break. And that's because obviously those colleagues at that time are on parental leave and pay, so they don't necessarily have the money to invest in that coaching and that support themselves. When it comes to our Sustain and Grow group coaching programme, we would like it to be fully funded to all state school colleagues across England, but unfortunately at the moment we don't have full funding in some areas. So most regions are funded for Sustain and Grow, but I'll show you in the next couple of slides where we're still looking for funding to open up that offer to everybody. Now, if you are working for one of the multi-academy trusts that you can see on the screen or in Croydon, then your staff might also be entitled to an additional block of one-to-one coaching that's available within that 2-year period. So that one-to-one coaching is funded by criteria. So the Ogden Trust also funds some places for physics teachers, the English Association for their members, and we can make requests of the National Education Union, the NEU, and that will depend on their budgets whether they can support with one-to-one coaching there. Now, our programmes have an enormous impact. You can see there on the screen some really lovely feedback that we've had from our Sustain and Grow and our Return to Work workshop participants. And I have to say that the feedback that we get from participants is almost always glowing and very touching, and really speaks to the importance and the need and the appetite for the spaces that we create and the support that we offer. We know that coaching has a significant positive impact on well-being, on women's occupational mobility, and also on their movement between flexible working and full-time working and part-time working, just greater creativity around the working patterns that they're accessing to suit them and their family needs as their family and career grows. What we also know is that in comparison to those attrition rates that I shared earlier, colleagues who undertake our coaching programs are more likely to be retained in the profession 3 to 4 years post maternity leave. So that is also good news for the sector. Now, these programs have come about and are fully funded because of a huge amount of support from more than 50 funders across the country, and they're supporting both regionally and nationally as our funders in different areas. So all of the logos on the screen, you can see a huge thank you to those organisations and the people behind those email addresses and who are part of our community that have just shown such commitment to our MTPT project participants and parent educators more widely. As I said, we don't have funding everywhere just yet, and that restricts our access to our Sustain and Grow group coaching programmes. So the counties and the London boroughs where you can see a little black cross there, and that's where we don't have any funding at all, so no Sustain and Grow group coaching access. The little plus sign, the little white plus sign, is where we would appreciate a little bit more funding. We do have the funding covered, but we know that demand will be high in those regions. So we would appreciate a little bit of top-up funding to meet the demand that we anticipate we'll have. And the little grey crosses is we've had funding informally confirmed, but we're just waiting for the formal confirmation of that funding in those boroughs and counties. So if you're an organisation that works in one of those boroughs or those counties, then please do get in touch because actually participating in the programme and being one of our funders is probably going to cost you less than you think. So in Hampshire, potentially Lincolnshire, Somerset and Bristol, we need £825 to open up Sustain and Grow access to the whole county, to all state school colleagues in the county. We need slightly smaller amounts in those London boroughs and those counties that you can see listed in the middle there. So anywhere between £225 and £465 would be hugely helpful. And then we could open up Sustain and Grow group coaching access in those areas. And the top-up funding column in Birmingham, Cambridgeshire, Essex, Gloucestershire, Kent and Leicestershire, the programmes are covered, the programmes are funded, but we know that we will see increased demand in those regions, and it would be helpful for us in terms of our costings to have some top-up funding there. So if you or another organisation that you know or a national organisation would like to support us in any of those regions, then please do get in touch. And we're making national funding requests of between £1,500 and £2,000 from our national funders to help us to plug some of those gaps. Now, we have a potential audience of 58,000 members of staff who take a period of parental leave every year and then return over a 4-year period. And we have seen our engagement grow and grow and grow year upon year as we've piloted and scaled up these programmes. So we're aiming to support 600 participants through live, hybrid or recorded access to our programmes this academic year, 25 to 26. And I mean, it would be amazing if 10% of our potential audience, so 5,000 plus participants, could benefit from those programs in the future. But it would still be pretty significant to double the 25 to 26 engagement figures next academic year. So seeing between 1,000 and 1,200 colleagues joining us on the programme. And the only way that that will happen is if you in your schools know how to support us and promote those programmes within your communities and networks. So accessing the programmes is really easy. Everything is on Eventbrite, and we organise the cohorts into different collections. So all the parental leave group coaching cohorts go into what's called a collection on Eventbrite, where participants can see all the dates coming up. Same with Sustain and Grow, the same with our Return to Work workshops. So that way participants can choose the best date that's available for them, the best cohort, the best time. And then what they do is they just literally click on the booking button, the orange booking button. They access their free pass if they are in a funded area, or a paid pass if they're not. And then they fill in a couple of details for us, and then we take it from there and we have them booked onto our programmes. And that means that they can sign up for one of our classroom programmes without having any interaction with their school, which is really, really helpful if any participants are feeling a little bit nervous about their interaction with their school, or if something negative has happened and they're reaching out to us for support, or if they just don't want to bother anybody, or if they just want to speed up the process. So we have lots of people who sign up for a Return to Work workshop on the morning of the workshop, and they join us live because everything comes to them really nice and quickly and streamlined. If they had to wait for permission or go through somebody at school to do that, then the whole process would be delayed and they'd potentially miss out on that opportunity. And we know we really, really do see where schools and organisations are promoting the programme because we collect regional data, we collect gendered data, we collect data about union participation and ethnicity and sexuality, and roles. So we know who is on our programs and who's doing what. And as you can see there, the majority of referrals to our programs, or reason that people know about the programs, is because of school and MAT communication. The second most popular way to find out about us is through Instagram. So that's our work. But actually, once people hear about the opportunities, then they start recommending them to other friends and colleagues within their network. And that's really where we see that sort of explosion in engagement, like we've seen in areas like Cambridgeshire or Kent or Hertfordshire, or where else was on that list? Oxfordshire, for example. That's where we have very high rates of engagement. So what you will get if you sign up to receive our monthly updates, there's a QR code at the end, is 4 flyers that will be available to download for each region from our website, and an additional set of flyers for our national funders. So there are regional flyers and national flyers, so please pick the ones that are most appropriate for your organisation, if you work specifically in one region or if you work more broadly across England. And we would love you to use these everywhere, so please print off the posters, put them up in the staff room, take them to conferences with you, include them in your tote bags, include them in your conference brochures, include them in your maternity, paternity, shared parental leave, adoption policy documents, in your flexible working policies, so that we can really just have as many touch points as possible for colleagues to be hearing about these fully funded programs. We can provide content, or we will provide content for you for newsletters and for social media posts. We make it as easy as possible for you to share these programs with your staff. And we do that through a marketing document, which is also available, or will be available to download from our website. And that gives you all the dates, the timelines, blog content, email content, social media content, all in one place, with a suggestion of what to do at what point. And we remind you of all of these promotional materials and what's coming up soon in our monthly email reminders that we send out to our school and our funder contacts. We'll also be asking our community to support us with this promotion with a Put Up a Poster campaign from August and September, because we know that not everybody is on LinkedIn or on Instagram, not everybody necessarily reads their emails or realises that things are relevant to them. And so if we have these very physical posters in community spaces, then those colleagues who wouldn't necessarily know about the programme have yet another touch point to see these posters, flash the QR code, or come back to them when it's more relevant to them. And we really ask you as well to feel free to share this video with as many colleagues as possible, or within your networks or on social media. Please feel very happy to share this video so that as many people are hearing about these opportunities as possible. So in terms of the next steps, if you're really excited about the programmes and you want to share them as widely as possible, which is what we would like you to do, is to integrate our Cradle to Classroom promotional materials into your maternity, paternity policies and all your systems surrounding there, so that at expectancy stage, just before they go off on leave, on kit days, and in their return to work period, colleagues are seeing and talking about and hearing and able to ask questions about these opportunities. We'd love you to share this video with 5 colleagues that you think would also be in a position to support us. And the QR code that you can see there on the middle of the screen is where you can sign up a Google form to sign up for monthly updates. So if you've got lots and lots of things on, we will be your brain for you, will be your memory for you, and send you a monthly update saying, here are the opportunities to promote for the coming half term. You can also follow us on social media. We're at MTPT Project on Instagram, and we are also on LinkedIn. We don't use Twitter or Blue Sky, but we do have a sort of holding handle that you can tag us in as well, at MTPT Project, but you won't see us particularly active on there. But we know that some people are still using those platforms. Now, you might also consider connecting us to any national funders or funders in unfunded regions, in the regions that we showed you there that we still don't have funding for our Sustain and Grow group coaching programs. We are 71% of the way there as of June 2026, which is fantastic news. But we do have this dream of making sure those programs are accessible to everybody, regardless of their region or their role. And if you're coming to us today because you're doing wider work on your family policies or your staff experience, then please do check out our Life Friendly Leadership programme. which is a leadership program for colleagues who are improving their family systems and their family support and making their workplaces more family-friendly places to work. It involves 5 sessions. We have recorded access, we have online cohorts, and we also deliver MAT-specific or network-specific cohorts or conference-specific cohorts. So please, again, there's a small QR code there that you can flash and find out more about those programs as well. Thank you very much for being with us today. My name is Emma Shepherd. I'm the founder of the MTPT Project, and I'm really, really excited to meet some of your staff and colleagues as they become parents and learn that they can balance being a parent and working in schools, so that our whole education system benefits from them as really, really valuable colleagues.